So I talk about dreams a lot, not just as random iconography, but as something that relates to our inner world. The dream can be a place of guidance, an opening to the deepest and most intimate sanctum of the soul, with forces shaping it, depending on the forces that we align ourselves with. It was my shared dream that confirmed to me that when we dream, we actually go to another plane of existence, a prayer of mine that was answered, and revealed to me the true potential of the human mind. It made me question some of my previous symbolic dreams, in a sense that they could be coming from a place of truth, from a higher plane of existence. In this dream, I'm with my friend and we're joking around having fun. I accidentally spill his drink and he calls me an idiot. I tell him I'll get him a new one and he tells me to not actually. And that's when I realize, I ask him if he's dreaming right now because I think we could be having the same dream. He stumbles his words and says, yeah, sometimes I do. Then I clarify again and ask him if we're having the same dream, to which he gives another ambiguous response. I brush it off and sit back down next to him, and all I see is this dark figure staring into me. My friend is gone, and the facade is too. I feel this figure launch himself at me, and I feel this overwhelming sense of fear and pressure. I hear a voice that calls my name, begging for me to help them. Then I wake up. I've mentioned before in my older videos other fourth wall breaks. My favorite one comes from me talking with this man about the unfairness of existence, how this world is too depressing if there is no God, all the suffering that can never be redeemed. He turns to me and says, yes, so why should they pay for your sins? Then shoots me, taking me out of the dream and waking me up. This was so powerful, it really hit me. How we live in systems that perpetuate privilege and suffering. They suffer so that I can live in peace and still choose to take it for granted. I also talk about the fourth wall breaks with this white entity that first appeared before my shared dream, helping me up the stairs. The fact it came before my shared dream proved it came from a place of truth, a tangible place in the astral plane. And again, it appeared as I was in a delusion with someone. It appeared out of nowhere and continuously hit me until I woke up. When I woke up again, I felt this intense pressure in my head, in this plane of existence. From my experiences, I've been able to tell when there are higher forces symbolically guiding me towards truth, wisdom and compassion, and lower forces explicitly guiding me towards fears, desires, and insecurities. And these forces come from what I surround myself in my waking moment. If I've been spiritually pure, mentally happy, productive, and praying, these higher forces come back, advancing my spiritual journey. And when I'm mentally unhappy, spiritually impure, indulging in things that would be deemed as sin, like lust, drinking, laziness, gluttony, sloth, and start experiencing bad emotion, these lower forces come back, trying to reinforce these fears, insecurities, desires, and bad emotion. So I asked for clarity in my dreams, and I got one very explicit. I'm looking at my phone and I see this message saying, that's right, jinns and demons can appear in your dreams. They'll be your friend, but only if you let them be. This was explicit wisdom given to me and confirmed when I did more research into the whole spiritual world and Islam. And yeah, the subconscious is a gateway to the spiritual world. And in the astral plane, there are jinns and angels. Something like drinking, for example, gives these lower beings access to your subconscious. They're basically like spiritual parasites that can infiltrate your mind and pull you closer into the embrace of the enemy. And the most explicit time I was able to realize this was after I'd done something that would be deemed as extremely forbidden from a religious standpoint. In my dream, this skinny, scruffy man with a beard comes and finds me and tells me to come with him. He's spewing every single insecurity I've ever thought of. He's trying so desperately to mentally break me. He's smiling maniacally as he does so. And then he says that he will make my life hell. Then he asks me to say his name. I shake my head, then he starts to spell it out while his grin grows wider and wider. D-E-V. He tells me he just loves it when people say it. I can feel the grotesque thrill he gets from this, just spewing out of him. As he gives me one last haunting smile, I wake up. So I'm not someone with an ounce of religious fundamentalism engraved in him. This all comes from a neutral point that I'm able to observe very easily because I'm very susceptible to spiritual impressions. So the fact that this has happened so explicitly confirms that there is a spiritual world, that there is a God and there is an enemy, that there is a certain way to live that makes your soul speak louder. That things like diminishment of the toxic ego, transcendence of base desires, lust, materialism, long for power, detachment from all things that anchor you mentally and spiritually, being able to maintain your peace, the dream is more than people think it is. And it's definitely got me stuck in a loop where I spend a day waiting to dream. I'm not sure if it's further fed into my delusions of who I may not be sharing my dreams with. And it was my dad who told me that I can't live in my dreams. I was telling him about all these spiritual experiences that have been happening to me, and while he wasn't disregarding them, he told me that it's important that I don't live in my dreams and remember my life here. And yeah, I still have a lot to work on with myself, especially my laziness. That is the one thing that really anchors me to my true potential, and I'm still trying to get out of it. And it's what gives me an excuse to slumber away. And that's when my dreams go back to random, meaningless iconography, when I don't even try, where I don't even attach to things that matter, that further develop my spiritual journey. I need to find order in my life to find order through my dreams. And the truth will continue to guide me towards itself.